Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the video channel thing. I'm here with one of my good friends here on YouTube, probably one of my favorite people in the world, TheRealManos.
Hey, that's nice of you to say. Hello. It's good to see you. Good to be on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while, Manos. We haven't done a collab in a long time.
I feel like it's been a year or 2 years.
It's been a solid year. The last one was on my Patreon about the Requalizer episode with Elm Street, about Elm Street.
Yes, that's the last time we talked.
Yeah. And this was actually a video that kind of I was doing all day, and then I thought, hey, this would be a lot better if I did this with somebody else. And Manos is that somebody.
Yay.
So, as you can see from the title, a pitch for, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to call this, a pitch for Acts of Vengeance 2. Now, Manos, you've read the Marvel event at some point, right? Like, what's your connection to that event?
I was reading Spider-Man at the time, and a couple other Marvel books. This is when it came out. God, I can't remember if it was like late 80s, early 90s.
I want to say it was like 95.
Oh, no, I don't think it was that late.
No. It was early 90s, you're right.
Yeah, hold on. I feel like it was like, I keep thinking 88 to 92.
I know in the promotion it said from September to December, and I was like, this thing went on for 5 months?
It did, yes.
It literally, if Manos, just for, I have it collected, it took 3 trades to complete the entire event. Like, that's because
it was, like, intermingled through all, like, their titles. I can't remember if it was in their annuals, because there was a period during the late 80s and early 90s where Marvel and DC were doing events through their annuals. Which, to be honest, I kind of don't mind, because if you don't pick up the annuals ever, you can just continue to read, your books normally, and they don't get interrupted. But this would be for their annuals for all their books. Like DC's Armageddon in 2001 was for all their annuals, and that was a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And I believe Acts of Vengeance did that, I think, or maybe they ran through the regular books.
They apparently ran through all the books. They didn't run through the annuals, they ran through all the books, which, it took 3 goddamn volumes of 500-page trades to collect for...
So big.
It was...
Oh, I remember because, Colleen Doran, guest drew the Amazing Spider-Man issue where he fights
Graviton.
Kind of like Magaton, yeah, second tier Magneto guy.
Yeah, except with magnets, it's gravity.
Yeah, it's gravity. Excuse me. That's how much I remember about him. And she did a really good job. A funny story about that. That issue sold better than the previous month, drawn by Todd McFarlane, and it was reported like in interviews and like gossipy kind of links. Like McFarlane was really pissed off about that. Like, Colleen came in and outsold him. Although granted, she brought along her own fans, and that was also like an event issue. So I don't know, maybe he should calm down. But I know he got really mad about that.
Yeah.
And then he did, where
he did the one where Spider-Man fought Hulk.
That's right, where Spider-Man got the Captain Universe powers, which I always thought was stupid. I just finished that book. It is a fucking slog through that Cosmic Spider-Man arc. Oh my god, it's terrible. And people, I think, like it. I don't know why. I never liked the Captain Universe. Well, I don't like the Captain Universe concept. And I didn't like it with Spider-Man.
Yeah. And it's And it's like it's also a little insulting because they use all these D-list villains you wouldn't have a chance against Cosmic Spider-Man. Like, who the fuck thought the Brothers Grimm, these D-list Iron Man villains, were going and fucking Trapster?
Well, yeah, I think the idea was like, he would like accidentally stumble onto this Captain Universe thing. At the same time, villains who probably could beat him would come in, like Graviton, for instance. I make fun of him not being memorable, but I mean he's that's a pretty tough power for Spider-Man to fight.
Yeah.
But hey, lucky, the Captain Universe thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't particularly care for that because I wanted regular Spider-Man to fight these guys.
I mean, he does in a 2-part epilogue to the story arc.
Something like that. God, it's been so long since I've read.
I just have it all fresh in my head because I just finished the third trade, which was the Spider-Man and X-Men stories.
I have not read this since 1990, so you might have a bit of an advantage on me.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk. So Manos and I are gonna pitch an idea for an Acts of Vengeance 2 because clearly Marvel loves doing sequel to events. Looking at you, Civil War 2.
That's right. And Secret Wars 2015.
Oh god. So if those can get events, then I don't see why not. And they did kind of do a sequel in the annuals called Acts of Evil. Which had Miss Marvel, Kamala take on Super Skrull and Bullseye fight She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So this is more of a full-on how we would do a full-on new event and who we'd love to see fight in this new storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So Manos, how would you do this new Acts of Vengeance storyline?
Let's see. Well, I would probably definitely have the bigger organized criminals of the Marvel Universe kind of plot ahead on this, where they see, for instance, the X-Men and Krakoa, the Avengers, and of course, between that Acts of Vengeance and our Acts of Vengeance, I believe the Illuminati thing happened.
It was in the original one, it was Loki bringing together Kingpin, Mandarin, and Magneto, and I think Wizard too. And I'm like, you don't belong here, Wizard.
Yeah, and well, I mean, also bringing in the Red Skull.
Yeah, I'm like
to join forces with Magneto, who was not a fan of that. Which I thought actually is one of my favorite parts of the Acts of Vengeance. Actually, it's one of the things I think I remember most about the Acts of Vengeance.
Yeah, he fucking buries Red Skull alive.
Yeah, Magneto's like, fuck this, I ain't working with this guy. So, I mean, that was a really effective part that I always remembered, and I think that this one should be maybe we'll leave out Kingpin.
Yeah.
On this, where actually if it happens now, then we could kind of use the reasoning that Kingpin is out of the game at the moment. He is in hiding after his shenanigans with becoming the mayor of New York and getting all involved in shit like that. So I guess you could say that there's a power vacuum.
Yeah.
So they decide, we can get a group of villains and maybe organizations together. Actually, how about instead of individual villains like last time, maybe we can put together the organizations like AIM and Hydra and the Hand, for instance.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of that group that's fighting the X-Men right now.
The Purifier? Oh. Because I was thinking of the Pure... Because there's so many fucking organizations against the X-Men.
Yeah, but the post-human are... damn it.
Oh, the Friends of Humanity.
Friends of Humanity.
Orchis, that's it.
Yeah, Orchis. Yeah, we could get Orchis together with the Hand and AIM and Hydra, and I feel like they would be a good fit with Hydra, because Hydra is kind of Nazis, and Orchis I think would be on board with that kind of thing. and they would start hiring out like villains and maybe doing it secretly. Maybe not letting these guys know, you know, what's going on, and combine that with some people who are in on it, and maybe send them out to maybe distract and disrupt, which, let's be honest, it ain't hard to disrupt the Marvel heroes. You know, they can, like, start fighting at the drop of a hat. So, you know, like, hey, why don't we kind of plan ahead for that and get these guys really distracted, since they fight each other all the time anyway, so we can get done, you know, with our evil stuff.
Yeah.
And that could be, you know, kind of the basic pitch of it, you know, where all these fights are a distraction while they're trying to get something done.
I like that. See, mine was kind of similar to that, but the real mastermind, and you're going to laugh, the real mastermind I would have behind this is MODOK.
That's fine.
Because I would have it that MODOK's been running, like, this whole time he's been running algorithms over every hero, and he thinks he's got enough data to pick the right villain to go after the right hero.
Yeah. And we can even get some of those, you know, anti-hero kind of guys, like, you know, Deadpool, for instance. That guy, you know, works on a paycheck, and I don't think it'd be too hard to get him to fight one of the more kind of gray area villains.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially now, apparently, Deadpool's like because that's the thing with Deadpool, is that they'll just do the whole, oh, I want to be a good guy, but I'm really a bad guy, and it just rinse and repeat every fucking storyline.
Yeah.
So I could see that. So I've got a few hero villain fights I'd love to see written down. If you and you can, I'd love to hear your collaboration and who you'd like to see fight who.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So the first one I thought of was Iron Man versus Baron Mordo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the whole time I was like, why isn't like a wizard a fight? I would love to see Iron Man fight like a magic character, and we don't see that outside of Avengers.
Well, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. My first idea... Hold on, I'm actually jotting down my second idea. My first idea is something I've kind of had for a while. But I could go for seeing Miss Marvel attacked by Stiltman.
I would actually... mine for her was fighting Mysterio.
Oh, Mysterio's good.
Yeah, because because Mysterio, a lot of people think he's just goofy. He can be downright terrifying if he wants to be. And I think, like, he's fighting someone who has her own anxiety and, you know, her own self-doubts, and her just getting her mind fucked with. I don't think she's dealt with a lot of villains who've attacked her mentally.
Not really. Not in that kind of aspect. Manipulative villains, but not, like, all the way into that kind of, like, zone.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, I think that's really cool of seeing the idea of Stiltman, and like, I would love to see, like, Kamala, like, just, like, I will just literally stretch my leg out and trip him. It would even be like a funny moment, like Stiltman wants in on the action of these hero villain fights, and he, like, goes to fight, you know, Miss Marvel because he thinks it's an easy fight, and she just sticks her leg out. And the whole issue would be her talking to Stiltman while he thinks he's the lamest supervillain, and she's just trying to boost his confidence, and they become friends.
Alright, I think I have my list.
Okay.
Alright. And what let's see, what's your next one?
My next one is Moon Knight and Bullseye.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
Because, like, everyone doesn't want to fight Moon Knight. Because I remember I've been reading the Jed MacKay Moon Knight books. And Taskmaster, they go to this group goes to ask him to rehire him to kill Moon Knight, and Taskmaster goes, I have to go to therapy after what Moon Knight did to me. So, I was thinking someone just as mentally unstable as Moon Knight would... Only someone as crazy as Moon Knight would go after Moon Knight. And Bullseye's that guy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Alright, I actually had a Moon Knight idea, and I actually like the idea of Moon Knight versus Mysterio.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and for very similar reasons we discussed. Moon Knight is a guy who's always like had trouble grappling with who he is, and Mysterio would, I think, feel like he would have that in. That would be a good avenue for him to attack in that. And just, I don't know, just the imagery of those characters going after each other, I think.
Just the idea of, like, actually he could bring Jake Lockley and Stephen Grant to, like, make, like, illusions of them for Moon Knight to just get fucked with.
Yeah. And all the people he's failed and all... Man, I just... and also, images of Khonshu. Like, you know, is he really dealing with Khonshu right now? Or is this, you know, Mysterio?
Yeah. And the other thing is you could have it like, because the big thing in the Jed McKay run is him killing Bushman. So you could have a moment where he sees like Bushman rise out of the grave, and just like his face is cut off. That's I don't know if you've been reading that run. I highly recommend it.
I've been reading that run. I fucking love it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I've been pretty into Moon Knight lately. And I'm actually digging through the Epic Collection for Moon Knight that was recently, and that's been an enjoyable read. Moon Knight's one of those characters, I suppose a lot of us will have this, a character that we think, oh, that character looks cool, and then we don't read them for some reason. I don't know if other people have that, but I have a couple characters like that. Moon Knight's been, you know, pretty high on my, hey, they're cool, and then I don't read them list. And I guess with the Warren Ellis run in the mid to 2010s, you know, I picked that up for the hell of it, and I was like, oh my god, I get this character now, I love it. And I've been kind of, you know, on this kick with, you know, reading Moon Knight stuff over the last few years.
Have you read the Jeff Lemire run? It's all collected in one big trade.
Yeah, I have a few issues of that, and I'm going to get the whole trade, actually. And it's really good. And the Jeff McKay stuff is, oh my god, it's just so amazing.
He's becoming one of my favorite writers at Marvel.
Yeah. I'm very much excited about his upcoming Avengers run.
Yeah. So, I guess my next fight would be Captain America versus Mystique.
Ooh, that's a neat one. Okay.
Because I just feel like Mystique is just like it would almost be like a real spy cat and mouse game between Steve and Mystique.
Yeah.
Like Steve would be like in a moment of who do you trust? Like because he can't detect a shapeshifter, and Mystique is really good at acting as someone else. So he could be talking to like Sam, and then Sam would just turn on him and be like, "Holy shit, it's Mystique." Or he could be talking to Bucky and is like, "Is it you?"
And oh man, and you know, Captain's like dealt with that kind of thing before. You know, being lied to, manipulated, you know, pulled into one thing after another. And definitely, she's definitely a good type of villain for that. As well as, you know, he as someone who represents like America, and he's an interesting character because he represents, you know, what America could be and should be, but you know, but while at the same time, the things that America actually is kind of get hung on it, particularly by a lot of other like characters in the shared universe.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with America, like, well, look at this guy. He's dressed up in like a flag. And he takes orders, you know, for America. It's like, okay, you know, fuck this guy. Go get him. And then you can hang all that baggage on him. And that's definitely somebody Mysterio would definitely go after like that.
Yeah, Mystique would be... It would just... It would be... I would read an entire story arc of that.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that hasn't been done much. I don't know how often he's even encountered her.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever met her. So what's yours? What's your next one?
Let's see. The next one I definitely wanted to do Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I thought it'd be fun to throw him against the Wrecking Crew.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm a big fan of the Wrecking Crew.
I love them.
They're just that kind of like band of villains. It's like, man, I need some villains for my hero to fight. I'm like, oh, hey, how about the Wrecking Crew? You know, they're dependable villains.
Yeah,
they show up, you know, they fight, they give you a good fight, and they get their asses kicked. They're really interesting fighters. You know, they're always like fun to play with. And they'd be definitely they're somewhat down to earth, but also like a kind of mystical challenge. So definitely it would be a nice strong challenge for Miles.
That'd be really cool. I would really love to see that. Him alone against all four of them? Yeah, I'd be down.
Yes.
So speaking of Spider-Man, mine is Peter Parker Spider-Man, and that is Spider-Man versus Omega Red.
Ooh, oh, that's a good... I like that one.
Because I was thinking, like, I definitely want him to fight a Wolverine villain, but he's met Sabretooth, and a lot of Wolverine villains would fucking kill him. So, Omega Red is just kind of terrifying in that, if you come too near him, like, those death pheromones affect you. So, like, Peter would be fighting him, he's just getting weaker and weaker. And the other thing is, Omega Red's body is literally covered in, like, a form of adamantium. So Peter's hands would be, like, breaking with every punch.
Mm-hmm. That is such a good idea. I'd love to see those guys fight.
Yeah. And, like, could you imagine, like, the cover of, like, Spider-Man? If this was an actual comic, the cover would be Spider-Man, like, entangled in Omega Red's tendrils?
Yeah, you know, he has fought... I don't know, Omega Red has a look that kind of fits in with a lot of the villains Spidey has fought, like Dr. Octopus or Venom, you know, those kind of guys, you know, that have these, like, far reach, you know, like Sandman, for instance, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of fits in with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Thank you.
All right, my next one is one of the first ones I thought of when you asked me to do this. I would definitely go for seeing Squirrel Girl versus Deadpool.
I would actually love to see that.
Yep. I don't know if this has been done yet, but I would... This is too good of a fight to avoid. Like, you know... like what I was thinking when we were initially talking, like there'd be probably a couple of like anti-heroes who are like mercenaries, you know, hired for this, and you know, Deadpool's a good choice, and I can't imagine him not having fun going back and forth with Squirrel Girl, and I don't know how this first off, the fight would probably be fairly balanced, I guess. But I feel like she would win him over.
I think so.
Not even like in a real pure like defeating fight. Like they would just eventually like start hanging out or some shit like that. But because like she's charmed like other villains and stuff like that in fights. So. I could definitely, because, you know, he's not really, like, an evil bad guy, so that would be a pretty easy one, but it would be fun to just watch them glad for a bit.
Oh, definitely, just to see, like, it'd be almost like Looney Tunes.
Oh, God, yes.
Alright.
Except they're both Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, I just imagine, like, there would be a moment like the rabbit season, duck season moment between the two.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be Deadpool getting his face blasted off.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like, he can take those kind of hits, so that would be fun.
All right. So I guess my turn. My next one is Doctor Strange versus Doctor Octopus.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
Another magic versus science.
Yeah.
I would love to see, like, Doc Ock in the Sanctum, like, just tear, like, he just uses his tentacles to just tear open the doors, and him using, like, his science to get through all the magic wards in the Sanctum to get to Strange.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's really...
Yeah. I would even love to see, like, him, like, how Ock would, use, like, he would try to break a magic down to a science and make, like, could you just imagine, like, the cover of this comic where it has his tentacles doing, like, the magic circles? Yeah. So him shooting magic from the tentacles, I just like that imagery alone.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I had some trouble, like, with this last one because I, like, kept going back and forth, and I wanted to do Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And my first choice was the UFOs.
Ooh.
Because first off, I love the UFOs. Highly underrated, a lot of fun. They're basically evil Fantastic Four. I know there's a Frightful Four, but the UFOs are a little bit more on brand, and I think just cooler characters.
It's just Fantastic Four body horror.
Yeah, essentially. But I thought maybe not the UFOs, because maybe that might be a little bit too, like, easy, fight, hit, bang, shoot kind of thing. So I decided to go a little bit more supernatural.
Okay.
Because Carol has problems with supernatural characters. And I was thinking Dracula.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Like, could you just imagine, like, Dracula biting her and then, like, immediately, like, retreating? Like, holy shit, what did I just bite?
I think Dracula... I like the idea of Dracula, because I wanted to do a character that would take advantage of Carol's, like, emotional and issues and her, struggle with dependence.
Yeah.
And, kind of... Because, like, hey, this character is, like, one of those kind of, like, super cosmic, hard to beat kind of characters. So, like, okay, what's my workaround on that? And, it would be Dracula kind of, like, finding those little, like, cracks in her psyche. And trying to, like, bring her over to the dark side. Yeah. So, we could go about that.
I do have a Carol against somebody, but as a quick one, because I do have this villain against someone else. I would, as a substitute, I would even say Carol versus the Purple Man.
Oh, wow. And that would definitely, that's even more, yeah. Because Carol has that, like, famous story in Adventures 200, which is still, like...
Infamous.
It's a very, touchy subject with her. So that would definitely be a guy who, he would get, he would get his ass beat.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that correctly.
Yeah.
Like, because that would definitely, trigger those memories. Which I hope he would be prepared for. Like, okay, there's a possibility that this could go really south for me. If I lose control. Like, okay, I know I'm an egotistical bad guy, but, like, okay, I gotta be careful of this, because this is someone who can punch spaceships.
Exactly.
You want to be... If you're taking on someone... If you're going to manipulate someone who can punch spaceships, you should probably have an exit.
Exactly.
It's like...
So I guess my turn. So I guess my next one. Thor versus the Brood.
Ooh, oh, yeah.
Like a Brood invasion of Asgard.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Like, could you just... Because they absorb the abilities of people they, like, infect. So as Guardian, like, even, like, like Frost Giant Brood. And I wish we get more cosmic stuff with Thor these days.
Yeah.
I mean, Donny Cates does it, but, like, I wish we could get more of it. Like, Thor doing more cosmic adventures outside of Asgard. So, what if you brought that, just park it in front of Asgard?
Oh, boy, yeah.
So that was my one. What's yours? What's your next one?
Let's see. These guys have kind of butted heads before, but I really didn't think, they really got mixed up enough. And that's Peter Parker Spider-Man versus Sabretooth.
Okay.
Sabretooth definitely, they have, like, let's see, they have met during, I forgot the name of the story arc, but it's during the Todd McFarlane days, and they wrestled, but they didn't really have like an all-out fight. And Sabretooth is kind of like a scarier, more dangerous version of Kraven the Hunter or the Puma, who is kind of a lamer Sabretooth. But this would be a nice, kind of like hunter-prey type of story.
Yeah, especially because I would like to see more of like Victor being more like how he is in like the current comics, where he's more intellectual along with his just brutality.
Yeah, that's always scarier.
Yeah, so I'd like to do that and like him fall like it'd almost be like when Venom first appeared. It'd be almost like a horror comic. Yeah, but that's really cool. So I guess my next one. Going back to Carol real quick, and this I think this would just be more like just to see these two get into a knockdown, drag-out fight. I would pit Carol against the Juggernaut.
Yeah, that's a cool one too.
Just the idea of the two just slugging it out in the city. Yeah, I think that would just be a lot of fun. I was contemplating like maybe something more cerebral, but I was like, I kind of just want to see Carol punch somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I think Juggernaut would be a nice test to see like how far she can go strength-wise. So that's mine. What's your next one?
I was thinking. This one's a little off the wall, but I was thinking Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And Fantastic Four being attacked by Carnage.
Oh, I think that'd be a lot. I don't think they've ever. Well, I think they get count. Well, no, they didn't fight Carnage, but they were aware of him in the Absolute Carnage event. But I don't think they've ever like. Well, no, Johnny has. Johnny's encountered Carnage directly, but the rest of the four as a team, no, I don't think they ever have.
Not really, no. And like full on, and maybe Carnage like backed up by some of his symbiote buddies.
That'd be. I'd really like to see that.
Like, yeah, I'm not the biggest Carnage fan, but I have seen writers like use Carnage in the idea of using like psychological warfare as well as his like venom powers and stuff like that. So that would be a nice attack.
I would dig that. Just to see like, I would even love to see like Reed trying to like think like I think it would be a moment where Reed would go, "This guy is out of his goddamn gourd." Like it would be like that moment, like Loomis realizing, "Oh, Michael's pure evil." It'd be like that moment.
Yes.
I like that. So my next one is the X-Men versus the Leader.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like, the Leader finds a way to retroactively find a way to get through the gateway to Krakoa, and just unleashes these gamma abominations on the island.
That's neat.
Yeah. Also, see a mental battle between Xavier and the leader. I love that.
That's a really cool idea. Let's see. I think, I don't know, I'm kind of getting close to... What else can we do here?
Well, there's a few, another one I'd throw out is, Fantastic Four versus Mr. Sinister.
Oh, yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. Because I feel like Sinister, people forget how powerful he is. Everyone and also I'd love to see him, make clones of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because he's all about clones. By the way, I really love his interpretation in the current X-Men run where he's such a sassy bitch.
Let's see. I kind of been thinking about since Scarlet Witch is kind of a thing right now, and she has a title at the moment. I was thinking she would probably be attacked in this, and maybe my first thought is Shadow King.
Huh? I don't think they've ever met. I know she's tangentially connected to the X-Men, but I don't think she's ever encountered Shadow King.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and he'd be a challenging villain for her. I guess I keep thinking of either punch, shoot guys, or manipulating guys.
No, I really like that because Shadow King's all about preying, especially on women. It's very much like Purple Man, where he preys on women's insecurities, and trust me, Wanda's got a ton of that.
Yes.
So,
oh my god, yeah. He's not a Marvel character without insecurities.
Yeah, especially if you're a female character, which is really fucked up when you really think about it.
Yeah. All right, you have another one?
So I got another one, and that is, and this is going to be a fun one because this would just be all-out war. Black Panther versus Annihilus.
Oh, that's cool. I was trying to think of a good Black Panther one, and I couldn't think of one that he's already fought.
Well, I was thinking it's just just for a tagline, it's not war, it's annihilation, and it's just the annihilation wave just spilling into Wakanda.
Yeah. That's neat.
And T'Challa's never he's fought cosmic beings before, but he's always had backup. So I'd love to see T'Challa try to fight someone who's god level on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see, and I had another one. I don't know. Let's see. I think they did something similar to this. I don't know if the X-Men has ever fought the Enchantress.
I know they've been to Asgard, but I don't think they've ever encountered Enchantress.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't read that story, so I don't know if they dealt with her. But, yeah, I was thinking she'd be a fun villain.
Yeah, have her seduce Scott.
Yeah. Oh, how easy is that?
Yeah, it's very easy. And I would just love to see, her and Emma throw down.
Yeah. Oh, God, that'd be cool.
It would just be...
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it would just be a moment where Scott would, tell Wolverine, just stop, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Just enjoy.
Yeah. God, that's such a good one, too, because, then you get Executioner along with that with Enchantress, so you could have him and Colossus throw down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, let's see, I'm trying to think. I'm starting to run out of ideas here.
Yeah. You got one for Ghost Rider? I'm curious.
Ooh. which Ghost Rider are we talking about? Are we talking about Blaze or Ketch or what's the guy with the car?
Robbie Reyes.
Robbie Reyes. Oh, I was going to say Reyes. Okay. Robbie Reyes?
Any Ghost Rider's fine. Like, it just like...
Let's see. Well, Ketch is my favorite, but Reyes is really cool. And he has more of a connection to the Avengers, so I suppose that would make a bigger target for himself.
Yeah.
So, that's an idea. Who would I have fight him? I would probably... Yeah. There is... give me a second here. Actually, there's a villain I'm thinking of, but I can't remember their name off the top of my head. Hold on. Let's see.
There was a little Spanish fleet.
Let me take a look here. There's one character. God, I can't remember his name to save my life, but let me see. Let me look him up here. And I don't want to say it until I look him up. Guess I'm like horribly wrong. Like, oh my god, who is that? That's nobody. Oh. 1 second here. There is. Oh, not that guy. Let's see. There's this one main villain from this comic. Let me see. Oh, damn. Man, this comic is so obscure. I can't even find his main villain on the page. Oh, let's see. Come on, man. Oh, there it is. Alright. I think I would probably, although I guess Johnny Blaze would be better for this, but I think we could use Reyes. And I'm thinking the Highwayman from the comic US 1.
Huh.
And the Highwayman is like this kind of like trucker themed villain, and you know, he has these kind of like all these sorts of like powers dealing with vehicles and stuff like that. And like I'm a big fan of like when it comes to like all three, well, not there's several. When all of the Ghost Riders, I always think of them first as like scary vehicle guys, and I don't know. I know a lot of writers and a lot of fans tend to like put Ghost Rider like off the bike and you know, fighting some demon or something like that, and I don't know. Maybe it's because of the nature of the comics. It's hard to like draw chase scenes and shit like that.
So it would be like a superhero version of Duel.
Yes. Yeah.
I like it. That's really cool. I dig it.
And yeah, you know, I prefer Ghost Rider to be more fast-paced, frankly. And there's just like that neat aspect of, you know, scary fire guy on the road at night, and I always think that's cooler than just standing there like another superhero, you know, fighting some guy that's way over accessorized. And the Highwayman isn't really that accessorized. He's kind of a spooky Scooby-Doo looking kind of guy. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be my choice.
I dig it. My pick was Ultron for Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah.
Just on the like, because I would love to have a moment where like Ghost Rider tries to use the penance stare on him, and this would probably be Ketch, also my favorite Ghost Rider. So there'd be a moment where like Ghost Rider tries to use the penance stare on him, and it doesn't work because he doesn't have a fucking soul.
Yeah, can't work on me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So Ultron. I do have a fun one for Daredevil.
Oh, yeah?
Killmonger.
Oh, man, that's a cool idea.
Because I would just, I would love, just this close quarters, straight up fight against someone who... I think, a lot of people, even though they did hype him up in the new comics, Killmonger still doesn't get, I don't feel like Killmonger gets the respect of how dangerous he is, so I would love to pit him against Daredevil. Especially now that he has, the backing of his own ninja clan.
Yeah, yeah. As long as that lasts.
Yeah. Comics, they never last.
And they come back.
Yeah.
It's confusing. Oh, alright. I have a Spider-Woman idea, Jessica Drew.
Okay.
I love the recent Spider-Woman comic. I don't know if you read it, but it was action-packed and funny. And highly recommended. I would actually throw Titania from She-Hulk after her. I think that would be a cool fight.
That's actually pretty perfect.
Yeah, they never fought, and Spider-Woman. I don't know. I've always connected Spider-Woman and She-Hulk together because they are kind of sort of spin-offs of their male counterparts, and they came out at the same time, and they were created for the same reason, to keep other companies from copyrighting spin-offs of Spider-Man and the Hulk. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I just still find it funny.
Yeah, they both were created for that same reason. She-Hulk's been a bit more successful, because she has been constantly published in one form or the other, censor creation, where Spider-Woman Jessica Drew has had a long break where she wasn't around for a while.
Yeah. The last time I read a Spider-Woman comic, it was Dennis Hopeless's run, and it ended with her fighting the Hobgoblin.
Oh, neat. Oh, that's a cool fight.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I should throw the Hobgoblin at somebody.
That's a quote right there. Yeah, I should throw the Hobgoblin at somebody.
Oh, man, Miss Marvel versus Hobgoblin?
She would be terrified of him, especially if it's Kingsley.
Yeah, I love Kingsley. Done. That's another one I have to do. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. But I do like that Spider-Woman one. I couldn't think of one for her, but now that you say it, Titania would be perfect.
Yeah.
I did have She-Hulk against Blackheart.
Oh, ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's She-Hulk. She-Hulk versus Mysterio. Not Mysterio, excuse me.
Mephisto. Okay.
And we could do one of those bullshit, making a deal with the devil type of challenge stories and stuff like that.
I would actually it could be not so much a battle, like a full-on fight. It's like you remember that segment where Homer sells his soul to the devil?
Yeah.
It'd be the devil and Jen Walters, where they're in a court battle for a guy's soul.
Exactly. It's the devil and Daniel Webster type of story, done with She-Hulk and leaning on her specialty.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I love so much about She-Hulk is, yeah, she's a rock'em sock'em character that also has this really analytical side in the courtroom, which a lot of Marvel heroes and DC heroes really don't have a specialty in. So yeah, that would be really cool. Man, I'm kind of digging these ideas, man.
Yeah, they get fun after when you really start to think about them.
One more thing about the Spider-Woman. Highly recommend if you can find trades or back issues of her recent. I think it was Karen Pachel, who did her recent run. Very good and very funny and very action-packed. There wasn't an issue where there wasn't a cool fight. She gets this shit beat out of her in every issue. So It's really cool. Oh, but that's the one where for the first couple issues she had that ugly black costume.
Oh, okay. Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah, there's a story point for that costume for the first arc, and then she trashed it and went back to the red one.
Okay.
But that from that series. And I picked up the first issue because I was like, I like Spider-Woman. Let me see if it's any good. I was like, holy fuck, this is really, really good. And read the entire series. It's only like 19 issues or something like that.
That's I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I would say, like, because now you got me thinking about Miles. I would pit him against Kraven.
Oh yeah. I would only my personal challenge would be to avoid Peter Parker villains. It's fun to kind of throw him to Peter Parker villains, but like, yeah, I kind of want to be careful. Because I don't want to like make Miles too redundant.
Yeah, the only reason I thought of Kraven because I was like, it would be a new especially if you get the right writer on this, like if you could bring back J.M. DeMatteis for this.
Yeah.
Like do like a new Kraven's doing a remake of The Last Hunt.
Well, the current Kraven.
Yeah, he's the clone's son. Right? Yeah.
The clone. Yeah. And I think the intention is to keep original Prime Kraven dead. Because that was the whole point of the Nick Spencer story, was like kind of like putting that back in the box. Like, because Kraven's Last Hunt is arguably one of the best Spider-Man stories. And then they just brought him back to life for no reason. and they never really did anything interesting with him. Which kind of dilutes the strength of that story. And that's one of the things I liked what Nick Spencer did during his Spider-Man run. It was like, you know what? No, we were right the first time.
Yeah.
We can have a clone of him running around, so we have a Kraven, but let's keep this story, and basically kind of just repeated it. So.
Yeah. So I think that'd be kind of cool, is like having this Kraven like acting out his father's thing, but he's like, Peter's damaged goods. Like, I don't want to repeat my father's, greatest hunt. Let me hunt this new spider.
Yeah, and I mean that could definitely, I definitely see the point in that one, like proving himself with his own Spider-Man. Peter Parker is my dad's Spider-Man. This is not my father's Spider-Man. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's some kind of 90s toy commercial. Like, this ain't my dad's Spider-Man. This is Crossfire.
Oh.
All right. But, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Those are the ones I jotted these down while we were talking. Let's see. Still can't think of a really strong one for Black Panther, and that's partly because, he's run across a lot of these big guns, and yeah. I can't really see throwing a smaller villain after Black Panther, who is the king of super country.
Exactly. Even you could say, oh, what about Thanos? He's met Thanos.
Yeah, he's met all these giant guys.
Yeah.
But I can't throw, I don't know, the Wrecking Crew at Wakanda.
Yeah, you can't do Doctor Doom either.
Yeah, he's already done that. He's already fought that guy.
Yeah.
So I would probably throw a mercenary, and we could probably do. I'm thinking. We could probably do this, assassination spy story.
Yeah. Okay.
With him, with an attempt on his life, and that way we could bring in a character,
like Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, yes. And have it would be a Taskmaster versus Black Panther story.
Okay. I was gonna suggest something out there like Nightmare.
Nightmares. Yeah, Nightmare is complete. I actually considered using Nightmare. Actually, I almost used him on Scarlet Witch, but they actually had fought or something. Scarlet Witch just recently fought his daughter, so that felt too redundant.
Yeah. Did you think of one for Hulk?
Jeez, like who hasn't the Hulk one?
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean he's fought everybody, man. And by the way, I'm currently enjoying the Joe Fixit miniseries. I don't know if you've read it.
I'm waiting for trade. I'm very I did read the Peter David Maestro prequel trilogy, and that was a lot of fun.
That one I have not read. I probably should read that one. The Joe Fixit one is just so good. Like he meets Kingpin, and it's the best because Kingpin has no idea who he is. And he just thinks he's a big guy. I have fought big guys. I can do this. It's great. Absolutely priceless. But Hulk, I would probably pit him against the irredeemable Ant-Man. The villainous Ant-Man.
They actually met in a Ant-Man tie-in in World War Hulk.
They did? God
yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
See, Hulk has fought everybody.
Yeah, that Ant-Man actually went inside Hulk.
Yeah, that would be my angle for that. So,
yeah. I think Hulk shit him out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's part of the course with Eric O'Grady.
Yep. In that case, I don't know. I feel like he's also fought Nightmare.
Yeah, he's fought Nightmare a few times. There's a Peter.
Yeah, man, he fought everybody.
Yeah, I would say even though he's
to make up a new guy to fight him.
I was gonna say I would actually. There's a few X-Men villains he hasn't fought before, so
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, so I would say maybe. Actually, I'd pit him against Sabretooth.
Oh, that feels a little one-sided though.
Well, it's a more violent Wolverine, so. And I think Sabretooth would love the idea of fighting something that even Logan hasn't beaten.
Or, I hate to repeat, but maybe Shadow King.
Yeah.
Would be, he's pretty vulnerable when it comes to mental attack.
Yeah. But could you imagine Shadow King entering up Bruce's mind and then immediately going, fuck that?
Whoa, let me work on this here. Jeez.
Actually, I'll tell you who would be if you want to do that, Hulk versus Mastermind.
Oh, wow. Oh, I haven't thought of Mastermind.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of all I got. I know what we throw.
That's pretty much it for me. There were a few others here and there, like Hawkeye and Kraven, and Elektra versus Tombstone, and but here and there, Venom and Claw.
Yeah.
But those were really it. That we were kind of coming down to it, so yeah. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me, Manos.
No, it was great. I'm glad you asked me. This was great.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to kind of work out the brain and start thinking about these things. Kind of since you asked me a few minutes before we started recording, I didn't have a chance to really prepare a list. So this was a fun challenge. As we were talking.
Yeah. If you guys are curious about TheRealManos' channel, just hit the link below. I will leave a link below to his channel. Go subscribe. Couldn't get the word out. Go check out his channel. A lot of fun. I can't believe people don't talk more about you. Also, go check out his comic series, Red Knight. I did a review of this on my channel. And check out his novel, Davida, over on Amazon. It's on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon and Kindle.
Okay, awesome. Well, Manos, thank you so much for this. This was so much fun. And, yeah, you guys tell us in the comments below. If they did Acts of Vengeance 2, what fights would you love to have? And, yeah, this has probably been my longest video in a while, and hope you all enjoyed this. I am Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, in the multiverse.